light up really good with the ball.
Hi, I'm Dan Hernandez. I'd like to welcome you to this week's episode of Sport Fishing. Well, we have something totally different for you. It's been over 10 years since I've been back up here in the Eastern Sierra, and fishing with me today is Adam Perez. Adam, what's your official title?
I'm the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power manager of the Aqueduct up here in Bishop, California.
So Adam invited me up to come fish with him today. He's noticed that I haven't been up here in a long time. And what do you have in store for us?
Well, hopefully today, Dan, we can go ahead and have some fun here on the lower Owens River, and then hopefully make our way up to Crawley Lake Reservoir, which is one of the largest reservoirs here up in the Eastern Sierra.
Yeah, it's a great place to fish. I haven't been there in many years.
Oh yeah, there's some good ones in there.
So that's the plan. We're gonna be fishing a river and a lake, hopefully show you some great fishing. So stay tuned for this week's exciting episode of Sport Fishing. I'm Dan Hernandez and I live to fish.
All right.
I have been fishing along the Pacific coast my entire life.
Oh!
Let me bring you in the action and share with you some great fishing tips along the way. So we're gonna start fishing right now, and Adam is upriver a little bit. He's working a fly rod. I'm gonna fish this spinning reel, and I have a single hook rig, barbless. You have to fish barbless here. This is a wild trout area. It's supposed to be lots of browns here, so I'm gonna try this little spot, see if we can get some, but this is part of the reason you come here. It's just beautiful. The Western Sierra, the beautiful snow-capped mountains in the background, flowing river. That's why I come here. And as a kid, you know, this is when I come up with my parents, when we lived in Montebello, we'd spend a week every year up here, sometimes 2 weeks. And it was just always beautiful fishing the Owens, fishing up a little bit higher too, like Crawley and stuff. So I'm really looking forward to this. So let me see if I can catch this fish.
So the way the Owens River, and just like most of these trout streams work, is that, you know, the nutrients and the bug is what really gets these fish to go. Right now we're fishing in the morning. You can see there's lots of little midges and stuff flying around. Seen a couple little mayflies. But when those insects hatch and come up, like midday afternoon, this you know, right now it seems like there's nothing here, but this water will erupt in fish just coming up to the surface to eat the adults as they come off the water. So it's a very kind of cool place. And you can watch it right now. You're like, there's probably no fish here, but the fish right now are eating subsurface. Give it a few hours, they'll come up, and this water will be one big boil of trout. So it's kind of a cool little spot. Alright, so this is what we're after today. Hopefully a little bigger, but this is a native little brown trout. The lower Owens is famous for their brown trout fishery. This guy today ate a little mayfly, came right through a little pool, and he took it right down. So just a cool little fishery. A lot of browns in here. You know, a little bigger than that, but there's not a lot of bigger guys, but there's a lot of fish in here. So we'll let them go. All catch and release, all barbless, and let them grow and get bigger. Fun time.
So this area we're fishing is very restricted. It's artificial, it's one hook only, and it has to be barbless. So I have a lead head here that doesn't have a barb on it, a little bait, and I'm gonna try to get close to those weeds over there and let it flutter down. I got one. Oh, I lost it. I had one. That's what happens with no barbs. The fish came right off. I was farther back in there. Let me see if I can get back in there. So the river's flowing down here pretty fast. I'm gonna try to get back in that pocket. Just work it slowly. Let it flutter down. That was a rock. So Adam's gonna rig me up right here with basically a drop shot. Drop shot, is it called?
Drop shot, like you do for bass.
Uh-huh.
Like basically the weight's on the bottom.
To use
We need to use like a triple surgeon's knot,
fluorocarbon.
fluorocarbon, going to monofilament to fluorocarbon. I want to do a triple surgeon. That all went up. What I'm going to create is I'm going to create like a little dropper system. So this is me my tag end here, and that's where my fly is going to go.
Oh, okay.
And then the bottom end I'm going to have a little section here for the weight. And by doing it this, you can then feel the bottom of the river.
And the flies that we have to use here have to be barbless?
Barbless, single barbless is the flies.
So I don't know anything about flies, so do some flies come with more than one hook?
Most of the flies are going to be single hooked, but they, a lot of times when you buy them from a fly shop, they're definitely going to have a barb on them because they don't know where you're going to fish.
Right.
Because you can take these up into the elevation, and let's say you're out there to try to catch a fish, you may want to have that barb. But this is special regulation water, so this water is managed as a single barbless. So it's very important when you come to the river. If you do go to the fly shop and you buy a handful of flies, is make sure you take your hemos and you go ahead and you pinch down those barbs. If not, you'll
get a ticket.
He maybe if someone comes over with the DFG badge, you can get you a nice ticket for that. And it is kind of hefty. So what I'm gonna do now is you can kind of see there's my tag end. That's where my fly is gonna go, and the bottom end's gonna have my weight. What you do is you can just adjust your length bottom here. So what I have is a collection of nymphs.
Yeah, a lot of flies.
Yeah. So here's these are basically special types of flies. They're called drop shot flies or Euro flies, and basically they're set with a jig. They're on jig hooks, so they ride point up. So that's just the way these are set. And so right now you can see there's a lot of little mayflies coming off. So you're probably good with a little mayfly imitation. So one of the ones that I like to use for mayflies is what they call a Frenchy nymph. And what it is just a simple little fly like that. It has a copper bead, a little olive body, and a little bit of some feathers for tail, and that's it, man. So I lost your thing there.
So do you make your own flies or you buy them?
I do. No, I make them now. That's the
the
part
art
about fly fishing is when you make your own. You think at first when you do it, you're going to be saving some money, but you don't save money. I got thousands of dollars of fly fishing stuff that is for making flies now, and I think I would have been better off just buying them. But it is fun to, in the evenings I come home from work, go in my garage and crank on some flies. I tie bass flies, calico flies, all kinds of flies, tuna flies. I just fish a lot of salt water with the fly rod too.
Okay.
And just go in there, and I got a trip coming up. I just plan for it and start cranking out flies. But living up here, it's mainly trout flies and largemouth bass flies. That's what keeps me going.
So is this lower Owens? Is this the upper Owens or lower Owens?
This is considered the lower Owens.
So this lower Owens, is this one of your favorite places to fish down here in the Bishop area?
Yeah, it's one of the most, easy accessible rivers, and it's also a very, very beautiful river. So like from my house, I'm here in 15 minutes, and I get to fish this water. It is a longer trip for the guys from Southern California, right? It's like at least 5 hours to be here. But for me, I get here in 15 minutes. I can fish here for lunchtime, catch me some nice fish, and then
go back to work.
Go back to work, or I can go back to my family, and they won't be looking for me for too long. That's the beauty of out here too. All right, so that guy's on there. Yeah, this fishery here is really good in the wintertime. So like when everything else, that's one thing to note is like the Owens River, when it comes like January, February, March, it's when it turns on. And that's when you have the majority of the people up here. Right now we're in May, Fishmas just happened, end of April. The majority of the anglers are out at Crawley, they're out in different waters. So now you get the Owens to you kind of due south. So it's a little different. You got a nice one.
Oh.
Yeah, you don't got the small one, man.
I don't have a net either.
I got it. I'll get a fish.
Okay.
I'll get you got a nice one.
Do I?
We'll have a nice one. This right here too. This is a nice little spot right here.
Okay.
Look at that.
Coming right to you. I think it's a brown.
Oh, you got a nice sizable one. Don't lose that sucker. You got a nice one.
Don't use those words.
Oh, sorry. Johnny, you got a nice rainbow.
Oh, it is a rainbow.
You got a nice rainbow. And you'll see these rainbows are way different from the stalker ones. Got them.
Got them.
These are definitely the natural rainbows within this section of the river. These aren't stocked. So they'll stock in the canal, but they won't stock here in this section. So these are actually naturally producing rainbow trout.
You want to take the hook out of it there so I can tighten this up?
Yeah, I'll go right here.
He ate that Frenchie.
Yep.
Ate the Frenchie.
Well, you rigged it up. You knew what to rig up.
Yep. And it's funny, I'm not even using the Frenchie. Now you tell me I gotta change.
Well, you're the expert. You tell me what to use.
Here's your rod and fly. You're good to go. But I can go ahead and we can do a quick little shot of them.
Yeah, let me just see them real quick here.
Yeah. You want to grab them?
Yeah.
That's a beautiful fish. Oh. They look way different from the stalkers. Just like that.
Beautiful, beautiful fish here. Just caught them. We're in a release area, so we're going to release them right now. Thank you, Adam.
Yeah. And we always say catching a rainbow trout on the lower Owens section through the brown trout, wild trout section is kind of like the unique, awesome, epic catch. So Dan, you did it, man.
Thank you.
Beautiful fish. Let's go ahead and get this guy out.
And these
He's
trout
in good shape.
Super feisty. The water's cold. He's fat, healthy, beautiful. Later, buddy. Good times. There you go.
He's out of here.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. There's a knuckle puck. There you go.
That was nice. All right, well, Adam rigged me up. He got me on the right gear. He's got me in right bottom of water. We got that fish, and we got the snow-capped mountains in the background. It doesn't get much better than this. How'd you get this one?
On that same fly you have. I just changed to what you have.
Oh.
But again, this is not the Dan Hernandez size style fish, but it's see how pretty these little brown trout are. and they're all lit up. These are all natural reproducing fish. So we just have to, take care of this resource and just have fun with them. Take a nice picture of them, and you can see how fast and reviving he goes right back to it. So it's a beautiful day out here in the Owens.
Nice. Where do I want to cast? Straight across, or?
Yeah, straight across, and then right in this little slot right here, Dan, like it. There's a slot right in here. Right there, see right here, the water's cooling back there? So if you cast it right towards those back ends, right there, yep, and then slide it right through there.
Hey guys, welcome back. As you saw earlier in the episode, we were fishing the Owens River, and Adam did really good. He got a bunch of fish there. I got one nice one. Now we're in Lake Crawley, and we're with a guide, so our chances are much better here. And we have Tom with here. Tom runs a guide operation here at Lake Crawley, and we're going to be learning all about fishing with flies here to catch trout. And you say this is the technique here, huh, Tom?
Yeah, it is. So we fish a lot of midges out here, which is an insect that hatches out of the mud, and they rise up through the water column, and as they're coming up, the fish will target them rising, and we use an indicator, which is basically a bobber, and when the fish eats it, they pull it down, and we set the hook, and it's game on. So we're going to try and do a bit of that today.
And what are we targeting here? Is it rainbows, browns?
This lake
Mixture
actually
here?
has a mix. There's rainbows, there's cutthroat, there's brown trout. We got it all. There's also some perch mixed in as well. Okay. So hopefully we get a mixed bag, a bit of everything.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I haven't been here in about 15 years, so I'm really looking forward to being back here at Lake Crawley. Beautiful background, beautiful location. Not sure why I've been waiting so long to get back here, but I'm glad I'm here. So see if we can get some fish.
I like to tie the flies on a loop knot. What that does is it gives them a little bit of a
Movement.
wiggle to them. Yep, makes them look a little bit more natural. You can just tie them off a clinch knot, but I think the loop knot is going to be a little bit more productive. So we're going to do that.
Okay. Adam, you doing this like you've done this before?
A couple times.
Ooh, nice size fish.
Yeah. I think it's a nice rainbow, it looks like. Maybe? I don't know.
This fish pumps out quality fish, or this lake pumps out.
So watch your indicator, Dan. They're active this morning. Always fun out here in Crawley. It's always good to get that first dunk in the morning. It just feels so good.
So that bite that you got, was it much of a movement, or?
It actually took it under, Dan. And sometimes they'll do a little bit of a twitch.
Uh-huh.
This one.
Nice job, Adam.
Nice.
Way to get us started.
Boat on the board here. Nice. Love it.
So there's a beautiful cutthroat trout, first fish of the day.
All right.
That's what I'm talking about.
On the board.
On the board.
All right. You guys back.
Thank you, buddy.
Nice and healthy.
Put a little more pressure, get him to the surface.
Okay.
Oh, he's got
Oh, it's
some
on the
spunk.
top fly too.
Yeah, top fly. He's got a little spunk in him, don't he? So
Yeah.
once he's on the surface, just kind of skim him right up here into the net for him.
All right.
He's not quite ready, is he?
Oh, he wants to run.
He's fired up. Love it. Right there. Drag him. Don't let him go back down. There.
It's real important once you get the fish in the net that you give it slack, because I've seen so many times when fish get in nets, people keep the line tight and the fish jumps out. So
Yep.
especially with this,
That breaks the hook off.
yeah.
All right, hook just fell right out. The beautiful part about fishing a barbless hook is it comes out nice and easy. Makes things easier on everybody.
All right, Tom. There's our beautiful fish right here, you guys. Beautiful, beautiful fish here. We're only going to keep a couple of these. We're going to let this guy go, but it's just beautiful. Just great fishing here.
That's right.
All right, let's let this guy go.
Thanks, Dan.
There he goes. This is Dan Hernandez, hoping you enjoyed this week's episode of Sport Fishing, and I hope you join us again next week as we bring you part 2 of our Eastern Sierra adventure, and we'll be back at Crawley Lake 2.